Awesome. Welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. We have a regular council meeting tonight, Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. Thank you to everyone who is in the gallery as well, and to all those watching online. We call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. And as we get started here, I'd just like to acknowledge that we're very grateful for Beaumont and for the land that we're blessed to live and work on, and for those who came before us. We value the enduring relationships that we have with the French pioneers and the Indigenous peoples who continue to share their history, knowledge, and culture with our community. And we're also thankful for the generations whose dedication and faith helped shape this community that we call Beaumont. So tonight, our first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or?
Thank you, Mayor. Administration does have one change to the agenda. Item 6.1, the Yellowhead Regional Library Membership Fees Report on page 16 of the agenda package. We have revised a number in the financial section of that report from 0.6 to 0.06. We've highlighted the change in the agenda package and we have reposted it with the changes to the website. Administration apologizes for that error.
Thank you for that correction, and thank you for Councillor for picking up on that. So I'll need a councillor to make a motion. Councillor Cole-Smith.
I move that the June 9th, 2026 regular council agenda be adopted with the following amendment. Item 6.1, Yellowhead Regional Library Membership Fees Report on page 16 of the agenda package be revised from 0.6 to 0.06, highlighted in yellow.
Any discussion? We'll vote. And that carried unanimously. Moving on to open.
Yes, we do have an open forum this evening registered. Mr. Justin Birch, if you'd like to proceed to the front to make his presentation.
You come here and just, go sit down. If you can click on the button so I can unmute you, and then if you can just say your name and what you're here to represent as well. There is a timer. Can you see the timer on the? Yeah, you got 5 minutes, so go ahead.
Justin Birch with Vintage Towing, and we have Don Getchell with Oil Country Towing. Good evening. As you said, we're both owners of. Good evening. As you said, we're both owners of local tow truck companies in the area for more than and served for the city of Beaumont, its residents, and the Beaumont RCMP. Throughout that time, we've provided professional towing and recovery services and emergencies at all hours. We believe there is a significant issue occurred in the recent procurement process for the towing services. Our concern is straightforward. Despite being the current service providers and having served this municipality for over 15 years successfully, neither of our companies were notified that a tender opportunity was posted. Furthermore, this tender was posted and closed in less than a month during one of the busiest winter response season periods Alberta has experienced. Now, during that time, our operators were working to help keep Beaumont's roads safe. We're simply asking whether a fair, appropriate opportunity to compete was provided to all the qualified vendors, particularly those with a proven history of serving this municipality. Vintage Towing and Oil Country Towing are not just businesses in Beaumont, we're part of Beaumont. Our employees live here, we support local events, we contribute to charitable initiatives, we sponsor community activities, we assist local organizations, and we work alongside your current emergency services when needed. We've invested our time, resources, and energy into helping build and strengthen this community. Beaumont is our home as well. The current two-company system proven its value over many years. It's provided redundancy, flexibility, and that surge capacity when call volumes exceed the single provider. With the massive growth that we've seen here in Beaumont, having two experienced local providers ensures that residents, emergency services, and municipal staff receive that timely assistance. And this issue extends beyond just a single contract. We respectfully ask Council to review whether the timeline provided was reasonable given the nature of the contract and whether the sufficient steps were taken to ensure qualified local providers had a fair opportunity to participate. We ask council to consider implementing better procedures to ensure that current contractors and local service providers receive direct notification for future procurement. And now we understand that some of the current bidders have experience in other municipalities. However, certain jurisdictions have documented concerns regarding those operations by same bidders with delivery challenges, contract performance issues, and situations where they have to revisit and restructure after implementation. We encourage council to carefully review not only what is promised, but what has been delivered in practice elsewhere. Ultimately, you have to decide it's not just price overall, but local investment, proven performance, and long-standing community commitment should be evaluated on the operational reliability and long-term outcomes. Our record in Beaumont spans over than 15 years together. Our performance, community involvement, and emergency support with working relationships of the municipal staff with first responders shows that we're on the ground with you. We've been there when Beaumont needed us, and after those many years of dependable service, we believe our companies have deserved the opportunity to compete. We're just simply asking for the opportunity to continue to serve the community that we've proudly supported and helped build for more than a decade and a half. So I thank you for everyone's time, and we're pleased to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate you coming in and expressing your concerns. Just so you know, we as council, we cannot dictate, we cannot give preference and like that. So, having said that, if you do have a question, you can direct it to me and I can direct it to admin in this, if you have any questions, or we can refer you to follow up with admin. At this point, council can't ask questions because we're not involved in the process. Does that make sense? We're involved in funding projects and things like that.
Our main question will be...
Sorry, can you just speak into the mic so we can, yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I guess our main question is like, when it was decided that they were going to change the procurement away from the traditional system that we've been using as a current vendor, why weren't we even notified? And when this procurement happened was between March 27th and I believe April 28th. 24th.
Yeah.
We had blizzard-like conditions for the first time in March and April in decades. And we were battling those elements to keep our service levels up. So unfortunately, this got missed. And that's not that we'll take blame for that, I guess, but we're usually on it. And then this came as a surprise. I got a phone call from Justin saying, and we had already missed our opportunity to bid. And I think during that period of time, I moved several City of Beaumont units. We assisted the peace officers as well as the RCMP in that time period, not even knowing that this was a tenure. So I guess that was a question, just to be direct, is why weren't the current providers notified and given an opportunity to give a fair shot? Like, we're not trying to say we want us to exclude everybody else, but why weren't we given a fair opportunity, I guess?
Yeah, and I totally understand and validate that question. If it's okay with you, just because it is something that we as council cannot address, because we have to stay out of it in terms of this for obvious reasons, can we have someone from admin follow up so that you can have this conversation with them? Would that be?
Mayor, if I may, I do have some questions.
I don't think we can. I think with Madam Clerk.
For clarity.
You want to ask admin?
Thank you, Mayor, through you to Councillor Newtown-Blust. Depending on, this is a process that's still in, so there is some information we cannot share. So depending on where Councillor Newtown-Blust wants to go with his question, we may or may not be able to respond to it.
Yeah, if I may.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. I won't get into the weeds in terms of the operational side, but just looking for some clarity from the presenters in terms of what had changed or what process changed compared to what you were used to.
I guess it was just an open contract before, and now it's more of a closed one with a single provider.
Yeah, so they're eliminating, they're basically wanting to contract it off to where only one sole provider will be doing it. And again, like he was just explaining, we've been towing all your guys' city assets for over 15 years, and it's just based on a phone call. Your guys' representatives would call us and get it either quoted or just say, this is where it needs to be, or can you go pick this up? There was an accident, can you go deliver it here? This is your PO. And now it's closed off and it's now to a different company or potentially a different company.
Okay, just to speak to that, I know procurement side of things has been a big thing in terms of what council has wanted to establish and putting a policy in place to make sure that A, there's some cost savings, but B, there's also some strong relationships that exist. So I would encourage you to reach out to administration and determine how you could be involved in the process down the road, because it is a process that's in place to protect the municipality, as well as look obviously at some cost savings and make sure that we have the right representatives providing services within our municipality. Just last question, and it's directly in regards to your guys' businesses. One, are you guys locally within Beaumont in terms of having a facility?
So there's currently no spots in Beaumont directly that can house and do actual impoundment and towing services. So we both have the closest potential yards, and they're in Nisku.
Okay, perfect. And then second question, I would assume it's a yes, but in terms of business licenses, I'd imagine you guys are licensed to operate within Beaumont? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Just one question.
Sure.
I don't know if you can answer or not.
Sure.
but When Edmonton put their similar procurements out, they did them separately. One was for the police service, one was for the equipment services. But the length of time that it was out was at least triple what Beaumont's was. So is there a reason why Beaumont's was so short? And because we were in a weather event, we unfortunately missed the opportunity.
Sure. I'm gonna direct the question over to admin. You can continue to ask me the question, but I'll direct it to Mr. Boyachuk. Go ahead.
Thank you to the mayor. So the posting was open for 27 days. I was just trying to dig up, I'd have to look up what the minimum posting requirement is. Postings can range, my understanding, the entity posting can choose the time of window. A month is usually, we need to move business along in an appropriate manner, so 27 days was how long it was posted for. And so I will look into if there's a minimum requirement, but our postings are compliant with all of the trade agreements that we need to do. So we're policy driven and treaty compliant, so it's within our parameters from that perspective. I can't speak to the operational pressure as to why it was maybe shorter than other jurisdictions, but it was around getting what we needed to get done.
Thank you, Mr. Boyachuk. Councillor Colesmith, did you have a question for administration? Okay. Okay.
Thank you, and thanks for coming. Just two quick questions. So over that 15 years, was there a contract in place? I think you said open contract. Like, is that something that you had to renew periodically? Like, was there an expiration date?
There was no expiration date. So it was just, we just get called year after year and call by call basis.
Okay, and with the short window, were you aware that the process had changed at all? Or was there a notification of this?
None.
Okay.
We actually, Dawn and myself, we periodically look quite often, and none of our tags or alerts from the Alberta purchasing tender, they did not even alert us to those, and we found it after the fact. So nobody told us, nobody in the organization, even just representatives that we were still towing for said, hey, this is coming to bid. Nobody notified either one of us. So that's when I reached out to him, because again, we've been two pillars in the community in doing this for so long. We have a great working relationship, and that's when I had asked him, because I noticed he didn't even notice it. And I said, hey, did you see this? And all of a sudden it just went, holy smokes.
Okay, and I think that answered my final question, which was you're aware of the site and you had credentials to log in. Okay, thank you very much.
My company alone has procured contracts through that site. I'm sure Justin's has too.
Yeah, there's ways that you can search and have, saved tags. And both of us have them, and they're almost identical, obviously, right? Because we're identical companies.
We both saw the Grand Prairie posting a few years back, but never saw the Beaumont City posting. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I not see the one that's right in our backyard? Like,
Yeah, no alerts, nothing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I think a conversation with admin to get those questions. Mr. Boychuk, did you want to chime in here again? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So just some initial searching. So the timelines for common posting periods. So for a simple RFQ is between 7 and 14 days. For a standard RFP is 14 to 21 days. Complex, so that'll be like consulting, technology, major projects is 21 to 30 plus days, and then major construction is 21 to 45. So this, I would classify this as in a 14 to 21 day window. So just background information for that.
Okay, thank you for that background. Yeah, I think for future, obviously, you've had a good working relationship with City of Beaumont. It's worth a conversation. So if we can get someone from admin to follow up with you, would that be all right? That way you can go more deeply in the questions. They would be
Sure.
able to answer it.
yeah, and like, is there any, I guess, I don't know if you can answer or not, but is there any possibility of the city reopening it so they could have our bids, or is it a closed and done signed?
I mean, if it's closed, it's closed. I can't answer that. I think that's a question you have to bring up with them as well.
In the conversation?
Yeah, in the conversation.
Are we able to ask then council for future, are you guys able to have a better system in place to where you have current vendors that are doing work for you to notify them of something like this?
That's definitely something we'd like to improve and make sure that's happening. I think that's reasonable for sure. Again, I would encourage you to bring that up with admin, but as council, we definitely would like to see more of that where people are given the opportunity and have fair opportunity to bid on something, especially, if you're reoccurring. But again,
Yeah, and it's just the personal aspect, it was very disheartening to hear.
yeah, I can
We
hear that.
work closely with the fire service and the RCMP. The nice thing about the fire service, the RCMP, we lose and gain them all the time. It's an unfortunate system, but the fire service, we built long-term relationships with. We donate cars for life-saving extraction training so that the fire department can be on point for when it comes to saving lives. And we like giving back. I love doing the parades, and like, if it wasn't for the citizens of Beaumont, our businesses wouldn't be thriving. So we love our community, and transitioning from town to city, it just feels more city when things like this happen. And I understand that the growth and it's a growing pain, but I just don't want to see Beaumont turn into, and I hate to say it, but like Edmonton, it's very impersonal. Whereas Beaumont, the relationship we have with the fire service, with the peace officers, is very personal, and we don't want to lose that, I guess. But I mean, that might be part of growing, but maybe something council could consider for future procurements, because I'm sure that this isn't a unique situation, and there's several contractors, and I understand the importance of procurement and contracts. We have some, but just the fact to lose a good customer over the fact that we were too busy to find out we needed to be there. It just, from a personal perspective, it sucks. We've had our business license in Beaumont for many years. We actually looked at property myself, but like there's no, we wouldn't be able to get the zoning for it. So therefore, we were in Nisku. We're now in Leduc. Justin's in Nisku. But I live in Leduc County, but I I shop in Beaumont. It's like, it's home.
Yeah. Thank you for your commitment to Beaumont. I can see that, and I see you're passionate about the work you do and about providing good service, and I appreciate that. It is unfortunate. We definitely, as a council, want to have strong communication two-way in that regard, so I appreciate your feedback on that. And let's just continue the conversation. So we'll direct you to admin and then follow up there. But thank you so much for taking time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
I want to
everybody.
thank the council for hearing our concerns.
Absolutely, yeah. It's okay. I got it. Thank you. Yep. Okay, we're going to go on to Do we have any more open forum, Madam Clerk? No more? Okay. We're going to go on to consent agenda. And at this point, are there any councillors wanting to pull anything from the consent agenda?
Mayor, I can also read out the consent agenda as well
Beforehand? Go ahead.
beforehand. Okay. It is quite lengthy tonight, so let me just pull it up on my screen. So for item number 4, that council meeting minutes, that the council accept the minutes of the May 12th, 2026 regular council meeting as presented. The regular council meeting minutes for May 26, 2026, that council accept the minutes of the May 26, 2026 regular council meeting as presented. Item 6.2, parking options for city-owned vacant property in Centerville, that the June 9, 2026 council report, parking options for city-owned property in Centerville be received for information. Item 6.3, Planning and Development Community Engagement Program request for extension. That administration develop a planning and development community engagement program to enhance ongoing public involvement and two-way dialogue in the planning and development process, including in-person, digital, and other engagement methods, and that by the end of Q3 2026, administration provide a report to council outlining the proposed program design, estimated administrative costs, and potential funding sources. The original due date was end of Q2 2026. Administration is requesting revised due date of end of Q3 2026. Item 6.4, 2026 Assessment Review Board appointment, that Braden Lancott, certified panelist of the Assessment Review Board, be appointed to the Assessment Review Board for the 2026 term. And item 10.1, the Land Management Policy C49 annual reporting, that the information as set out in the June 9, 2026 report, Land Management Policy annual reporting, be received as information, and that the report remain confidential pursuant to Section 29 and 30 of the Access to Information Act. Thank you.
Well done, thank you. I will pull one of the items. 6.2, I know it's just for information, but because it came from a resident, or sorry, business request, I did want to make it public. Having made that change, I'll need a councillor to make a motion to accept the consent agenda. Councillor Penrod, thank you. Oh, did I put you on?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the adoption of the consent agenda as read by the clerk.
Any other discussion on that? Okay, we'll go to a vote. And that carried unanimously. All right, moving from that, we will go to business item number 1, Yellowhead Regional Library membership fees. And Mr. Boachuk, I will go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So my name is Jay Bohachik. I'm the Director of Finance, and I'm here tonight to present the Yellowhead Regional Library membership fee report. On March 29th, the Yellowhead Regional Library Board of Trustees voted to recommend an increase to their municipal levy to their members. It's a proposed increase of 75 cents per capita, from $4.85 to $5.60. Member councils will decide if this increase goes ahead, as it requires written notification from 2/3 of the membership parties to the YRL Master Membership Agreement. If the double majority is achieved, then the levy rate will apply to all member municipalities regardless of vote. The YRL provided supplementary information in the attachments to support their request, and members are required to submit a copy of their resolution to the YRL by July 30th, 2026. In the supporting documentation, there were 2 options, so council could table one of 2. Option 1, the council agrees to the amendment of Schedule C for the YRL Master Membership Agreement, allowing the increase from $485 to $560 per capita, effective January 1, or council could oppose the amendment. From a financial perspective, in the event that a 2/3 majority is achieved, the YRL membership fees for the city, but paid through by the library, which is paid for from the money that the city gives the library. So it's ultimately us, ultimately the city. That would increase by about $20,000, which translates into a 0.06, not a 0.6, tax rate impact. So not a huge number. The library agreement with the city states that the library pays the membership fees and that the grant funds come from the city through the budget process. And then, so the risk under the YRL agreement, if you're for or against it, the majority, we don't have any controlling factor other than to apply our vote to for or against the increase. So with that, we'll be happy to take any questions. And we have some members from the library board to answer.
Thank you so much. If you ladies want to come forward and just press the button and then introduce yourself. I believe a few councillors have some questions. Thank you, first of all, for coming as well, making yourself available tonight.
I'm Carla Kalachuk, Director C. Wilson, who's the Deputy Director.
Hi, welcome, ladies. Is it Carla and Josie? Yeah, thank you. Councillor Cole-Smith, I'll go to you first.
Thank you. I've got a few, but I'll wait for others to jump in here and I won't monopolize the evening. So the bottom line from the report, or at least what I got out of it, and hopefully you can correct me if I've misunderstood, was that the levy was frozen for a long time, that costs went up, provincial money has been used to cover the gap, and the ask is for municipalities to pay the true cost. The costs are paid through the levy, which is assigned by a per capita basis, and the per capita number that we're using now is from 2024, which I think was 20,800 in the report. And if municipalities don't agree, services will be reduced. That could be fewer kits, fewer books, reduced staffing, reduced tech support, deferred maintenance. And the business case mentions municipalities are contractually obligated to fund it, which is more of a legal framing than a value framing. And the value proposition is very heavy on like the activity listing, but there weren't a lot of impact metrics that I saw. So I guess a couple of things. Could you help expand on the impact metrics? And could you clarify where we're getting the per capita or the population numbers from? It looks like a census data, and or would we not be applying projected growth from the Government of Alberta website?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. It's red, I know that means it's on. It's the opposite.
Excellent. Madam Mayor to Council, thank you very much for your questions. So every council that accepts services from us signs off on the agreement that has been vetted by legal. We tend to use the municipal populations as posted by Alberta Municipal Affairs, but we're at least a year behind. So right now we are looking at, for 2027, billing out on 2025 populations. So we make that adjustment based on what is posted in January of the following year. So we know that we're a little bit behind on that. As for the output metrics or the measurements, we did do a return on investment statement that we provided to council. And in their library services, annual library use from Beaumont residents have gone up. There is now over 20,000 items borrowed from Beaumont residents from other libraries. That whole process is mitigated, managed, and supported by Yellowhead through our delivery vans, through our communication, through our integrated library system, which is our core software. We also provide all the digital items that is accessible to Beaumont residents. That costs us about $200,000 per year. The use of it is rising with Beaumont again. It's 25,000 users plus for a cost mitigation of $1.2 million. That's what it would cost if Beaumont needed to purchase it themselves. The other thing that we do with our expertise is we were able to support Beaumont in the expenditure of their grant money to expand their collection. Because of our relationships, we added another 30% onto their purchasing power for that collection, and that also included all the processing costs, the getting the stuff here, and the delivery costs. Because of our relationship with the vendor, Beaumont did not have to pay shipping on those items, so the vendors provided that to themselves. We also provide, Beaumont staff took advantage of 25 of our training options, and that is at no cost to the library either. So what we're seeing is higher use. We've exceeded COVID numbers from this, and library use is very hard to measure because it's over time. So over time, what we can see is that the library is strongly appreciated and strongly used in Beaumont. And most of that is services delivered by Yellowhead.
Thank you very much for that. I have a quick question for admin. Hopefully somebody here can answer it. So I keep hearing the number of the currently. Where is that coming from, and is that accurate?
Who would like to answer that, Mr. Boacek?
I'm just opening up right now. So it's Beaumont population according to the regional dashboard, alberta.ca. So this is Alberta's census information, and so that's what they have stated for 2025. So it's formally the number is 26,305 is the number by the province.
Okay. I don't want to keep going here too much, but I'll just mention that the requested increase is 15% to the levy, but it's looking at old population data, and the new population data is about 20% higher than the old population data. So even with no change, the funds transferred would be 20% higher. Combined, it works out to about 40%, I think, if my math is right. Like the 15% and then the 20% multiplied together. The increase in the levy and the increase in the population together would work out to about a 40% increase.
Madam Mayor, to Council, we are quoting for the 2027 levy based on the population of 20,888 residents. That's the number that we have committed to use.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Yeah. I think what you were getting at is because of the population increase is constantly increasing, then that rate will also, that amount will also be increasing.
Over time.
By percentage-wise, what you were referring to.
Sorry, yeah, so I was just pointing out the numbers quoted in the documents were that 20,888, but as we've pointed out, that new number is, in the range of 26,000. I'm sorry.
Madam Mayor, to Council, we will be making the next adjustment for the 2028 operational budget, depending on what is posted on the Alberta Municipal Affairs website.
Okay, I'm going to go to Mr. Boacek. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you. The $20,000 estimate, the approximate $20,000 is based on the assumption that they would charge us at the $26,000 population. So that's not compounding that another 20%. That's the assumption that 75 cents per capita times our 26,000 residents is a $20,000 increase.
Okay, thank you.
Attachment 4 says otherwise.
I understand that, but so the report that I wrote saying that the financial impact is the assumption that based on 26,000 residents, it's about $20,000. I understand that the report has outdated data. I just provided what the maximum financial impact would be.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Hyde, and then we'll go to Councillor Van Nieuwkerk.
Yeah, thank you for coming and explaining all this. It's sometimes very difficult for us as council, we get a lot of numbers in front of us, and then we have to go to Mr. Boacek, and then he tells us who it's actually supposed to be, so that's good. Thank you. My fellow council member, Councillor Penrod, of course, has been working with you guys, so he'll definitely be the one to probably chime in here at the end. When I look at the data that was given to us, I see that the mean between all of the different library systems is about 677, and we're going to about 580, so still below the average, I would say, of the other municipalities. One question is, why are we lower than the other municipalities? And the second one is, what is the trickle down to our own library here in Beaumont. You've mentioned some of the things that we do between them, but I want to know what the trickle down is from the Yellowhead Regional to our specific library, because there's much bigger libraries in the region, obviously.
No, it's on all the time, yeah. It's okay.
Sorry, I've been in the other council rooms today, they're all different.
That's okay. If you could just press the button, and then I will unmute you. There you go.
Madam Mayor, to council, thank you very much for your questions. The question about why it is so much lower than the other regions is an interesting one, and it goes back to 2008. In 2007, 2008, the board made a request for a $1.15 increase, and it failed spectacularly. And it took 3 years to resolve with no increase. So at that point, the board made the decision to freeze the levy, and nobody expected or thought to unfreeze it. And so the board started in 2019 to do COLA, cost of living increases on the levy rate. That was ranged between 5 and 9 cents per capita increases. At that rate, it would have taken us 50 years to catch up to where the bare minimum was. After 2 years of discussion, the board made the decision then to go for a 75-cent per capita increase with administration input and looking at what we would need to continue to provide the services that we currently are providing. So not to over quote, but also not to do us any harm by underquoting it as well. Maintaining a 2% increase would have done that over time. So it was a decision made in 2008 that's trying to be rectified now. As for the direct flow into Beaumont Library, out of that, our current 475% levy, we provide 75 cents per capita directly to the library to buy books with. That is a hard cost of $15,666 that goes into a reserve account so that the library can buy material. When you apply our discounts to that, that adds another 30% onto that minimum. In addition, because Beaumont is part of Yellowhead, there's almost another $3,000 coming to Beaumont Library directly from other communities around Beaumont. So that includes the County of Leduc, because it's in recognition that Beaumont is supporting the libraries, the residents of that county as well. So we do come that. The other benefits that Beaumont gets is we pay for the website costs so that we take that cost away from the library. We pay for all of the software and licensing costs, so Microsoft Office we pay for. We pay for their access into cybersecurity. We manage all of that for them, so we take that load off of them. And we also pay for all the networking and computer support costs. So the routers, the network equipment, the Wi-Fi access point, the internet connection, all of that we pay for on behalf of Beaumont. And it doesn't matter how much of that equipment you need, we just budget for it, we add it, and that equipment is on permanent loan to Beaumont, but it's on our insurance. So if anything goes sideways with it, we replace it, we work with the vendors, and because of our relationship, oftentimes they replace it for free because they like us. So a lot of it is taking away costs that would be billed to the library and subsequently to council, but because of our economies of scale, we're able to offer it at a better rate. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's not always dollars and cents, basically, is what you're telling me. There's a lot of networking involved with this, as well as the dollars and cents part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm also just going to remind council, I forgot to remind you at the beginning, we have a 2-minute rule that we're implying here just for questions, just for questioning. So go ahead, Councillor Van Nieuwkerk.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of good questions asked tonight. Just one down to a little bit of the basics on this one. Given, I believe the letter was sent like April 1st and there was 4 months for response. Does it look like it's trending in the direction that enough will have responded to make a decision based on that 2/3?
Madam Mayor, to council, yes. We have not yet received any council votes disagreeing with this request. We require a 2/3 majority, 2/3 representing the number of municipalities that we support, so 36 out of 54 is what we need. And we need just over 280,000 residents represented by councils in order for it to pass. As of 2 o'clock this afternoon, we are at 36 out of 36 required municipalities to vote in favor, and we are still requiring about 35,000 residents in order to pass. So it is very much trending in agreement of the Yellowhead, and I credit the council reps on the Yellowhead board for making this happen.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, I think there's been a lot of probably good advocacy there. Second question is, on the cloud, what was it, 90,000? Can you just speak to that a little bit? There was some transition to cloud money required in the upcoming budget. I just kind of flagged that as, are you sure it's enough? You speak to that?
Well, Madam Mayor, to council, we are in the process of moving our core business application into a cloud-hosted solution. We've been watching the prices on that one for several years now to see where the break-even point is. And because we're in partnership with three other regional systems, we divide out the cost. So right now, the vendor was very motivated to get us up on the cloud-hosted solution. They dropped the price by $300,000 for us and then signed a 5-year contract at a rate that is really incredibly reasonable for a Canadian hosted solution with the data on a secured server in Canada. So it's not in the US at all. And right now, yes, we're pretty confident that that is the right price to do and the right way to go so that we can maintain 24/7 access to library resources without worrying that a tree might fall on my server room and bring down the entire 3/4 of the province.
That's right, yeah. And the reason I asked that question is because, you know, if there was wavering on that, then that might necessitate a comeback for an ask for more, right? But it sounds like it's moving in a really positive direction, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Councillor Natellenbos.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate some of the clarity you've provided. I do have a quick question for administration, more so, I guess, as a whole for funding for the library. Mr. Bohaichuk, if you're able to assist, I'm hoping to just get some numbers in terms of how much we've provided additional funding to the library over the past 3 years, because I understand this is a membership side of it, but ultimately the city would provide funding for an increase that is required by the library. So I'm hoping you're able to provide some numbers in and around the request for increase over the past 3 years.
Go ahead.
Thank you through the mayor to Councillor Natellenbos. So yes, I'll talk budget numbers for 2023, 2024, 25, and 26. So the approved budget for 2023, and bear in mind that this includes both the membership fee and all of the library services. So this isn't just the membership fee, the numbers I'm giving you, okay? So in 2023, it was 1.27 million. In 2024 is 1.37. In 2025, it was 1.46. And in 2026, we didn't give an increase. It was still 1.46.
Did you have a follow-up to that? Okay. Thank you so much for that. Councillor Colesmith, going back to you.
Just a couple simple ones here. Of like the 20,000 unique items lent out, are those instances or like unique items? Like, was it the same item, you know, if it came here and was lent out to a second person, is that included in the count?
That is, and Josie will remind me about that one because I haven't had to think about that one yet.
So what it is it's unique circulations. So it definitely could be a similar title going out to 5 different patrons, but it's unique circulations. So
Okay.
that many items were borrowed by Beaumont residents from other libraries outside of your collection.
And of the 75 cents per capita that goes back to the library, is that expected to remain the same with the new levy, or is that going up as well?
Currently, our plans are for it to remain the same, but once the board sees our budget in August, September, and October, they can always make a recommendation otherwise.
Okay. And then just one last one. The 15% increase to the levy, that's regardless of population growth. That's saying if population were to stay the same, the 15% is what would need to remain whole. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I think that is all of our questions, so I appreciate you coming in for this and taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making the time.
You're welcome. We're going to go to a motion. Yeah, it's a motion. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. So Councillor Penrod, do you know which one? Let me just put you on there.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move, we're looking at the options, but I think the way it's framed in the report is I'd like to move that council approves option number 1 as presented in the June 9th, 2026 council report, Yellowhead Regional Library membership fees. Really appreciate you both being here tonight to speak to it. It was mentioned, thanks to Councillor Van Nieuwkerk's question, but I just wanted to highlight some of the different types of communities that have voted in favor of this increase. These are our partners in Yellowhead Regional Library. The City of Leduc voted unanimously in favor. The municipality of Parkland County voted unanimously in favor. These are two of the larger municipalities in Yellowhead Regional Library. The town of Kalmar and Devon, the towns of Millet and Thorsby, these are represent regional partners. And then a whole host of summer villages. And these are people, municipalities with as small as like 97 or 150 people. If we think every change in our budget makes an impact to residents, these are municipalities that really sweat an increase because it really falls on almost individuals in their communities. So they're not dealing with massive budgets, so every increase is that. So I think every one of our municipalities feels that and feels the need to, and we certainly do, to protect the interests of our own municipality. But I think lots of the work that we've done around our strategic planning over the past several months that I look forward to coming public here any day now is really in part to attend to the regional relationships. We're beginning to understand that we really can't do many of the things that we know we need to do over the decades ahead and even just years and months and weeks ahead without key regional partners. And so I think Yellowhead Regional Library, as was evidenced by the answers given, is just such a great example of what's possible when municipalities don't try to go it alone, but when we pool some resources and manage them responsibly in a way that actually cuts down the cost for every municipality and provides amazing service that none of us could provide on our own. Thank you. I hope you'll support this motion.
Thank you. Any discussion around this? Councillor Cole-Smith.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the comments and I appreciate you guys coming to answer the questions. I appreciate libraries and I'm an avid reader, and I can recognize that there's a funding gap, but knowing that the gap is the 15% and then that's based on today's population, and then right away we're going to get the new census values which will be applied to the increase in levy. I'm just saying I disagree with the scale. So I support the idea of funding it. I just think the scale is too high. Thanks.
Thank you. No other comments? Okay, we'll go to a vote. And that passes with Councillor Cole-Smith opposed. Thank you, everyone, for your discussion on this, and thank you for the opportunity to ask questions. Go on to 6.2. I think this will be fairly brief, and then we'll see if we need a break after that. And I understand, Madam Clerk, I think we talked about we don't really need a presentation for tonight. That's okay, we just, I was the one who pulled it, so if I could just speak to that as to why I pulled it is because this came from discussions with our business owners in terms of wanting to have, explore opportunities for different kinds of parking in the Centreville. Particularly, I just want to say this is particular to the two lots that are right behind Mayna's, the gravel one and the grass one. And so I am in full agreement with the recommendation. I'm happy to hear that this is moving forward in terms of putting up wayfinding signs and no overnight parking signs, as well as talking to the Bow Village Shopping Center owners to make sure that we can access this parking lot from 50th Street and other places. Is there anything else you want to add to that? What number are you? To number 6. There we go.
Yep. To the mayor, no, I don't have any additional information to present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councillor Van Newkirk?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think this is a good representation of concern in the community brought forward since it's been pulled. I do also want to highlight that there's a recommendation in this report not to pave it because there's extensive stormwater facilities subsurface. So I just want the community to understand we won't be paving paradise. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that, because at the other part of that is that down the road, this land is slotted for something else. So this is a temporary solution to a problem that we're faced right now. So thanks for mentioning that. Councillor Hyde?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I see Mr. Bohojchik ran out of the room because this will require money at budget time. So
No, actually nothing.
maybe
Nothing.
if we were going to gravel it.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, it's already gravelled. We're not going to,
The second grassy one.
we're not going to use it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay, then I don't have to talk too much about that. But I would say that this is apropos for everybody knows the parking woes of Centreville. And this is great that it's coming out and fantastic to see. And we'll see what this comes from. And I'm really happy to see it go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to reiterate, this does not require any more funding. It's everything, signage, everything like that is already in the budget. So we're happy about that. Thank you so much, admin, for the work you've done. Appreciate that. Okay, we will continue on.
Mayor, if we can just have a motion just to receive it for
I'm
information.
sorry. Let's do a motion. I will do the motion. Any discussion? We'll go to a vote. So the motion is that June 9, 2026 council report parking options for city-owned property in Centreville will be received for information. And that carried unanimously. Looking at time here, I think we're fairly good if we don't take a break here. We just have, do we have any new council inquiries and notices of motion?
Mayor, we do have the CAO's update first.
Okay.
And then going into council.
Oh, Maureen, you're up.
Good evening, council. It is a rather lengthy update on social media. You want me to read through it?
At least the highlights, I think, Mayor.
Sure.
Yeah, do you want to
I
just go
can
through
share
the
a few
highlights and more
for sure.
details? Yeah,
For
that'd
sure.
be awesome.
So Beaumont Days happened, how many weekends ago now? 2 weekends ago. Around 8,500 people attended on Friday night and 9,500 people attended on Saturday. The youth center took advantage of having so many people in the community.
I'm not sure we're getting, why we're getting
I'm not
feedback.
sure.
Okay, well, continue on.
Testing 1, 2. So the youth center took advantage of having so many people in the community that they really showcased the youth center and had over 180 children and youth participating. There are several infrastructure and public works updates in here. Very briefly, the Cenotaph project work is underway on the landscaping elements, and we expect the entire project to be complete at the end of summer, likely at the end of August. The intersection upgrades at Township Road 510 and Range Road 243, we're working on the land requirements to enable that work to happen. The design is underway, and this project will continue into 2027. You'll see some traffic accommodations happening along 50th Ave for the water feed line project. So that work is happening June 13th to the 20th near the St. Vital Pump House and Reservoir. We've included some pictures for council. Crosswalk upgrades near Dance Row, those upgrades are, they're complete. They have been installed. Okay, good, great. And then finally, some road closures happening on 50th Ave this week.
Oh, I'm sorry, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Sure.
Just go back up to the upgrade for the intersection. Can you just mention that? One more.
510 and 243?
Yes.
So the city will need to acquire land to enable that roundabout to occur. We're working through that. The design is underway. The construction work will likely have to continue into 2027. Okay, I'll move over to Public Works. So I want to give a shout out to the team that was continuously monitoring our stormwater facilities during the heavy rain event. Everything performed as expected. It does look concerning to residents, but everything was well within tolerance. We have some washroom renovations happening at Ken Nickel. That work is expected to wrap up by the end of August, so hopefully users will see some modernization. Tennis court resurfacing, that work is commencing on June 15th and will take just over a month. Street sweeping, with the rain event that we had, we are now at 85% complete. This is ahead of last year. We have a few operational days remaining for that work. Several of our facilities, the Park Shop, Youth Center, and the Fire Hall would have seen improvements to their parking lots. We did facility asphalt improvements. And then starting next week, the Parks team will begin initiating a shale application program to the baseball diamonds. It's a gradual project to significantly improve the infield drainage and playability. And then finally, with the grant that we received for new trees, over 120 new trees were planted at Juno Park. And then the final update is from Municipal Enforcement and Planning and Development. So Council's amendment to the Community Standards Bylaw for construction waste came into effect on June 1st. The team went out on June 1st and issued 83 warnings last week. Beginning on Monday, violations will be issued for any non-compliance. Following non-compliance, a notice to remedy is issued, and the owners have 72 hours to comply. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill. Appreciate that. Do we have a motion to just receive it as information or no? We don't need to. Okay, awesome. Let's go on, continue on to this is one regarding Days of Recognition program listed on the website. Please provide information on the Days of Recognition program that identifies all directives. Can you add internal directives? It identifies all internal directives, policies, procedures, and other administrative instruments governing the program, and outlines the process by which administration determines whether matters governed by such instruments require council awareness, input, or approval. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, do we have any notices of motion?
We do.
Thank you, Mayor, and appreciate your help, Madam Clerk, on crafting this. At the June 23rd, 2026 regular council meeting, I will move that by the end of the Q3 2026 administration, Administration prepare a report on the community grant funding program, including historical funding and utilization, available 2027 grant funding, and recommendations on funding levels and a process for regularly reviewing and adjusting the funding envelope to ensure long-term sustainability of the program. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that concludes our regular council. Everyone for tuning in, and those who are in the gallery, and all of administration. We will now take a motion to go into closed session. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Councillor Van Nieuwkerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move that council move into closed session at 7:01 PM pursuant to the Access of Information Act, Sections 19, 20, 22, 26, 29, and 30.
Any discussion? We'll go to a vote. Carried unanimously. We will, as we prepare the room, I would just like to say to our live stream public that we'll just say good night and thank you for tuning in. And we officially adjourn the regular open meeting at 7:02.